Good evening, Fernwood. It is your commentary viewing content creator, Neil, and it's time for us to build a dialogue about another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 235 from February 25th, 1977. Yesterday we reached some big moments, so why don't we talk about it? Mary and Tom Hartman are watching out for Dr. Medwick, who peeped on them last night, but also is the only witness to the night that Garth Gimble died. Dr. Medwick gets a bit squirrely, but Mary and Tom are able to put their things away before Nat Dearborn, Patty's lawyer, shows up. There seem to be some questions about whether a jury would listen to the testimony of a peeping Tom, but it seems clear that Dr. Medwick has seen many things around town, maybe a little bit too much information for everyone in the room. And with that encyclopedic knowledge of the people of Fernwood in their bedrooms, Nat believes that Patty has a chance. Over at the Jeter residence, Lila is getting more and more demanding about Wanda's romantic life. She's jealous that Wanda is still giving Merle attention. Wanda plays off like she's tired, but then Lila says that she will do anything to keep Wanda, and it sounds somewhat threatening. Out in the woods, Patty is acclimating to Roma life with Godza and Zarina, who really want her to come on the road with them. They do a reading of the cards, and after that, Patty feels somewhat assured that she should go on the road with her new family. Then over at the Haggers, Mac and Charlie are doing their country frat boy shtick. They are having the time of their lives while Loretta is trying to fit in. Charlie asks Loretta if everything is okay, and Loretta says it is, but underneath you can tell it isn't. Then Charlie starts a game of who told the biggest lie, and we hear Charlie's story and Mac's story. And then Loretta takes a turn and says that she has been jealous of Mac and Charlie's relationship, and she feels bad because she shouldn't break into the guy time like that. And as soon as she has spoken her truth, Loretta faints dead away. And then we are back in the woods again with Godza and Zarina cleaning up their mess and getting ready to get on the road. Mary Hartman rushes into the camp to tell Patty the news that there is a witness to the death of Garth. Patty has to think about it a bit, but she ultimately makes the choice to stay and take care of Phil. And as Zarina notices this, she starts wailing and crying, and Godza says that this is going to require a threat of some kind. And the episode ends with Zarina in tears as Mary awkwardly wonders how to get herself out of this. And everyone, that was yesterday's episode. It has been a very controversial week, so I expect we will see some big stuff. Let's find out how the week ends.
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman!
Loretta, honey? Would you get the light?
Charlie, the sun doesn't have an on switch. Where are we?
What's your name? You're not losing your memory, are you?
Of course I'm not losing my memory, Charlie. I think I'm losing my mind, though. Is this awful thing like elephants like doing a drill team march or something? Right? Is this just like a hangover?
Yeah.
How many times does a person have to go through this before they become an alcoholic?
That's funny, honey. I got to admit, sweetheart, you are not my idea of a natural drunk. Oh. But I'll tell you something. Drunk or sober, you are the cutest drunk that I ever did see. Oh, Lord, you got silly last night. Listen, let me ask you something, baby.
What?
How drunk were you?
You mean like on the Richter scale? I don't know. I never done it before.
No, I mean, honey, what I want to know is, did you mean all them things you said about me and Mac?
Well, to tell you the truth, Charlie, I don't, remember everything that I said, but if you mean, did I mean that you and Mac was spending too much time together?
Honey, it isn't all that much time. It really isn't.
It's all the time, Charlie.
Oh.
We're together all the time. I mean, every time I come home, if Mac isn't around here, the two of you is out carousing around, raising hell or something.
Sweetheart, I think you're exaggerating. I mean, you're making it sound like Mac and me was married to each other. We were living together or something like that. And honey, it's just you and I, darling.
Oh,
We have all the privacy that we ever had.
Bacon and flapjacks coming right up. Ain't this wonderful? A home-cooked breakfast for three. Just one big happy family.
Pretty soon, Vernon Bale's gonna come in here to time us. So this is the deal. While he's in here timing us, we're gonna work nice and slow, see? So we don't have to work so hard later on to get the incentive.
Mr. Bales has been very nice to me. I mean, he loved my petition. And this sounds a lot like cheating to me. Wouldn't you rather be nice guys?
It is an unspoken rule among workers.
And today, this is the way we're gonna do it.
This rule's a rule. You want to finish my Twinkie? Hi, Vernon. Oh, I love your little flag. Red, white, and blue. Oh, Tex, will you look at this? Original colors.
Yeah, just keep the line moving.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Mary.
Hartman, what in the hell were you doing?
What do you mean, because I went so fast? Is that why? Because I went so fast? I mean, I'm sorry. Honestly, I couldn't help it. It just seemed so impolite. I mean, I got scared.
We ain't gonna lift a little finger to help.
Well, I said I was sorry. I mean, I said I was sorry.
Well, you think we was uncooperative before?
I'll tell you something. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Hi, Mrs. Shumway. Come in.
Well, thank you, Harry. May I call you Harry?
I'd rather you called me Howie.
Oh, why? Harry is such a nice name. I once had an uncle by the name of Harry.
You see, my name is Howie. It's short for Howard.
Well, then, where did your parents ever get Harry from?
They didn't.
Oh, are you sure?
You want to sit down, Mrs. Shumway?
Oh, well, thank you again. Yes.
Let me just clear some of this off here.
Okay, we talk a while. Oh, are these your radio scripts? Because Kathy told me you were in radio.
This is some research for a story that I'm working on.
Oh, that's too bad. You're such a nice-looking boy. You should be on TV so everybody can see what you look like.
Well, all the greats started on radio. Eric Severide, Walter Cronkite, and Edward R. Murrow.
Oh, yes. I remember him. During the war, broadcasting from London. Of course, that was before you were born.
it's a record of famous radio broadcasts.
A record? Well, personally, I prefer the big band sounds, you know, strangers in the night. Oh, have you read all these books? Secret Societies and the Agrarian Myth. Is this a good one?
Oh, well, this is for some research I'm doing on certain underground groups, and that's all I'm at liberty to tell you at this time.
Well, who asked you? I'm very good at keeping secrets, though. All kinds of secrets, like, well, for instance, where the Easter eggs are hidden, and who I voted for president, and my age, more than anything. And whatever kind of a relationship you and Kathy are having.
Oh, well, Mrs. Shumway, Kathy and I aren't keeping any secrets. We're not hiding anything.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, where is my grandson? That's who I came to see.
In the bathroom.
Already? Oh, no, it is not good to potty train them so early.
No, we're using the bathroom as a nursery because of the cramped conditions.
Huh? For heaven's sake, is it this one? Oh, Lord, it's cramped in there, too. Oh, I haven't seen one of those old pull chains since I was a little girl. Oh, isn't he just wonderful? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, and look at him. Are you sure it's sanitary in there? It doesn't look sanitary to me. And where in the world is Kathy?
She's out jogging, trying to gain back her pre-baby figure.
Well, it was that pre-baby figure that got Kathy into trouble in the first place. Oh, look at that. So, Harry, tell me, what do you do in the radio? You spin those platters?
Well, I'm trying to make it big as an investigative reporter. But, Mrs. Shumway, in spite of what you may be thinking, Kathy and I don't have any real intentions toward each other at the present time.
Oh, well, that's nice. I hope you get it figured out pretty soon. Hopefully before my husband, you know, kills the two of you. Or the three of you.
He kills, huh?
So my message to both of you is you'd better ship up or ship out. Goodbye.
I wonder if anyone ever talked to Edward R. Murrow like that.
Oh, look at that.
Lila. Darling, the door.
Don't move. I'll be right back. Hi. I'm Mary Hartman. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I might have the wrong.
No.
Oh, hi.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, to what do we owe this here visitation?
Oh, it's just that I'm going to be giving a party tomorrow night, and I wondered if the both of you, could come, and you. It's Pat. She's back, and I was going to give her, a little get together and everything. I mean, I asked her if she wanted to have, a surprise party, and she said no, that she would prefer just to have, like a sort of a do-nothing party, as though nothing had happened, So we'll all be pretending that nothing happened.
Pat Gamble.
Yeah. It's a welcome back home from jail and a gypsy band Pat party.
Oh, well, thanks an awful lot, Mary. We'd love to come, really.
Really?
Sure.
Oh, good. Well, then I'll put your names on the list. And
Well, come on in.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Gosh,
Come on in here.
You never spend any time here. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Sit
oh,
down.
thanks.
Come on, sit down. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
Excuse me, let me just scoot.
Yeah.
Okay. There we are.
We got it? Yeah.
Wanda,
Yeah.
what do you think? Should I invite the policeman who arrested Pat or not? I couldn't
Oh, boy.
decide. See, I like the guy. very much. There was one policeman in particular that I liked, and I thought that Pat might be very attracted to, particularly after Garth. You know, Law and Order, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Well. Lila, do you by any chance hear a little whistle sound?
Do you want me to get it, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Well, if you say so, ma'am.
She's delightful. Does she do windows?
She does everything.
You know what I really like a lot? I like the way you use her around the house personally. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I think that's really nice. I always wondered what Tom and I would do if we had a maid. I mean, not that we could afford one or anything like that, but, you know, and not that, you know, I wouldn't want to keep doing the cleaning myself, because I like, you know, to enjoy it, you know.
Yeah.
And no offense meant.
Oh, please.
And after we have our tea, we'll all call it a night.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I can't sleep over. But not tonight, anyway. I should have said something maybe earlier.
Lila, I tell you, after we have our tea, you can call it a night, okay? Because we're not going to need you around here anymore, okay? Are you all right?
Excuse me. You know, there is a wonderful cleanser that you might be interested in. It's particularly for getting tea stains out of cups. And I have it at my house, and if you wanted to tomorrow, I could leave it under the mat for you, and maybe you could come over and get it at your lunch break, you know? Do you get car fare? Well, see, I don't mind a tea stain, you know, so, I mean, it wouldn't be that important to me.
Lila, why don't you just come over here and join us? You okay?
Want to scoot out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sure.
Well.
Lila, the tea.
So, this is how the mayor lives.
Sugar.
Oh.
I don't know how much longer I can take this. I work all day at the office, and then I have to spend my time every night being a housewife. If Jack doesn't move his body soon, he's in big trouble.
This is woman's work. It's not your husband's responsibility to do the laundry. I mean, I work all day too, but you don't see me complaining. Now, I don't begrudge my Sammy his beer and television.
That's because your husband works all day, too. All Jack does is slurp his bud and watch television. And all he talks about is how he could clean up if he could just get on the $20,000 pyramid. Oh, I wish he could get a job or clean up the kitchen.
Well, now that is just unsympathetic. Jack is still recuperating from the operation.
Ooh, I am sick of hearing about his operation. All he had was exploratory surgery on his throat polyps that weren't even there. If he could talk, he could walk.
That was a very traumatic experience for him. I would think you'd feel grateful that everything's all right and be glad to do for him what he would do for you.
Do for him, do for you, do. Just because my husband is your baby brother doesn't mean that you can treat him like a prince. I am sick and tired of him and those lousy kids. They never even lift a hand to help me anyway.
Kids are what you make them.
Yeah, and kids make you what you are.
Well, she's right, Norma. If you'd spend more time being a mother instead of being Ms. Executive of 1977, I bet they'd be better to you.
I spoiled them rotten.
If you didn't spoil them so much, they wouldn't be so rotten.
Are you criticizing my children?
Just who do you think you are calling those kids rotten?
Well, you see, until recently, I was a kid who lived at home. But now I have a baby of my own, and I know what it's like. I mean, to care about children, to have the responsibility of a house and a child. And if you've got to take care of it, because if you don't take care of your house and your child, I mean, who else will?
Well, most kids have fathers.
Well, you see, I'm just waiting for the right father. You see, I don't see what's so important to rush into it. I think the best is the most important.
Are you implying that my Jack isn't the best possible father?
My brother is a great father.
Look, I don't know about your lousy, lazy husband or your kids, but I'm sure that you deserve both of them. You don't even soften their clothes.
That's all you know. Macy here put Downy in the washer.
No, I didn't. You were supposed to take care of that.
You idiot. Now all your clothes will be scratchy. Oh, you and your brother sure are a pair of numbskulls.
You just have no right to call us stupid and numbskulls. You just don't even know how to do anything simple like launder underwear.
Excuse me. Could I borrow a bounce?
Oh, sure. My baby. Where's my baby? My baby's missing.
So I thought that we were done with at least one harmful stereotype, and I was very wrong. And for that, I apologize. I want to mention an old friend of mine who watches the show and doesn't comment much, but was actually the first commenter ever on Good Evening Fernwood. Mentioned today, I got a message on the day of shooting here, that he had watched on the Peacock app the movie Dr. Cyclops from the 1940s, and that one member of the Mary Hartman cast is in that movie. I will guess who that is, but I haven't seen the movie yet. All I will do is just post a little up there, and maybe you can check out the movie yourself. But let's take it back to the top and cover this episode from the beginning, which starts with Loretta and Charlie waking up from their bender. Loretta is again being honest here, and Charlie is investigating that. He denies it, but he also senses it. Like in the last episode, he wondered if she was okay, and he denies that he and Mac are spending too much time together. But I honestly, as an outside party, feel like he and Mac are spending too much time together. So for Loretta, it must feel like way, way, way too much time. And then there's that ironic ending where Charlie says that all of the time will be devoted to Loretta, and Mac pops out having cooked breakfast. And then we hit the factory, and I wasn't sure if we were going to see more of the GGG. I'm glad we didn't. I just can only take so much. We see Mary on the line, and the thing is that she believes that Vernon Bales has her back and sees things the way that she does, and no, not at all. But more importantly, it's that productivity bit, like they're getting looked at, and Tex makes clear that, hey, they should take it easy. Like, to a certain extent, a repetitive job, we don't need to rush through it, especially if you're going to be doing it for a long term. Sure, keep productivity up, but like also make sure to maintain the workers. Make sure that they can handle it. Mary doesn't understand that. She's been doing this job for like a week or something. She isn't taking the time to know what everyone else actually feels. To me, is in this case her fault. Yeah, the guys have not been very welcoming to her, but she should do some work of seeing how they feel about their work. If they could meet in the middle somewhere, that would be good. That would be ideal. But Mary isn't listening. She's trying to fix things that are a little more complicated than she has the time to know. And also, Vernon Bales is in charge of a white supremacist group. So, like, just be aware. Take the time to listen, Mary. We know that listening is not Mary's skill. And then there's a scene between Martha and Howie, or Harry, as the case may be. And it's getting to know the different relationships in this show, right? I haven't seen a real interaction between Howie and Martha, just setting the groundwork for exactly how confusing things are. I feel like Howie is interested in a deeper relationship. Yes, he was handsy that one time, but honestly, most other appearances, he's been kind of a sweet and caring guy. He is putting up with quite a lot. Something that I note is that Martha picks up some of the research that Howie has been doing, and it's into clandestine groups. So I wonder if coming up is some kind of plot with Howie tracking down the GGG. I kind of want to see him take them down. Not kind of. I want to see him take them down. Yeah, we are seeing gross power dynamics in the Jeter household. And now, instead of Merle being the bad guy, as we often think of him, I think of him as a heavy more than a bad guy, but that's a pretty loose distinction. However, in this case, the controlling personality is Lila. It is no longer a story about a triad. It really is a story about someone not being good in a relationship. Honestly, she should be fired. Like, there is nothing okay about how she is treating this situation, much less how she's treating her job. I feel like creating a triad relationship with an employee is a bit gross. It is problematic that Wanda and Merle started a relationship with Lila, their employee. Well, things are getting out of hand now. The way the script described her in the first scene was as though she was a high school student. They went a different direction and retconned that, so now she's a woman child. And I noticed recently, like yesterday's episode, that Lila has kind of the affect of a Marilyn Monroe voice. She kind of has that woman child 1950s behavior. I'm understanding what they're going for now. She's the buxom woman child. And Mary shows up, and there's going to be a party for Pat next week, and that's sweet. The Jeters are invited, and also Lila, because she happens to be there. And Mary relates to Lila on the level of keeping a house. So there's this stain remover, right? Like, well. And Lila is just not doing the job. I did catch one bit in this scene which made me titter, when Merle says, "We won't need you anymore," both Lila and Mary are breaking, like in terms of laughing, right? They're doing the SNL or Carol Burnett style break, but covering it pretty nicely. But I did giggle at that because it was very clear that both of them were cracking up, probably at what Merle did. However, yeah, this scene is not pretty, and things look like they're going to be ugly, and those pills are poisoned. We didn't mention that today, but they are, so Merle may get a poison pill very soon. And speaking of poison pills, we then head to the laundromat, and most of the scene is between two wives, right? I describe them as wives because they clearly talk about their husbands at home. We have been this season talking a little bit more about dual income families, and at least one commenter has noted that dual income families were around in existence well before this show. However, now it's exploring it in the dynamic of the Mary Hartman universe, right? So like, I come home from my executive position and I still have to do the laundry. I suppose there could be a fairer way of sharing the jobs around the home, right? Work-life balance is not just women do all the work in the job and then come home and do all the work at home. So those were the 2 points of view, and then Kathy busts in, speaks from her exactly how many weeks of experience, which escalates into a fight, and during that fight Zarina pops in, and I understood exactly what was happening because, yeah, I'm aware of this stereotype for the Roma people. And that's pretty gross. I mean, it was funny to see because, like, obviously we see a line of the plot. I did laugh when I understood what was happening. So maybe that's gross on me. But also, like, I see it as a plot in a TV show. And I understand in real life that this would not be a real thing. However, Kathy, in terms of the show at least, Kathy is in real trouble. And Baby, still no name, Baby Shumway, has potentially a new mother. I had thought that maybe Godza and Zarina would not be with us anymore after yesterday's episode. Clearly, I was wrong. I don't know where to go with this in terms of... I don't believe it's okay. I don't believe it's an okay representation of this people. At the very least, that's what the story of this show is right now. So everyone, this week has been pretty horrific in terms of theme and stereotype. I'm still a little bit stuck on how to talk about it. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for leaving your thoughts and feelings in the comments. Thank you for building a dialogue with me. And we will see you next week in Fernwood.